Williams. I'm the product manager here at CRC Industries, and we're at the Apex show. And Kevin Bird from Two Guys Garage has stopped by to help me explain a little bit about a couple of our new products.
Yeah, and there's some new technologies that are out. We're familiar with, PFI, port fuel injection. Well, there's GDI, so that's direct injection, sometimes in combination with a turbocharger, getting you better performance, getting you better fuel economy. But in any fuel system, there's a lot of maintenance that you need to make sure you do during the course of the life of the vehicle.
Yeah. And speaking about fuel economy, one of our new products is CRC One Tank Power Renew. We've developed this product because we felt there was a need in the market for a product that really is a super cleanup for your fuel system. A lot of times people don't realize it, but the carbon deposits are building up in your fuel system over time because of impurities in the fuel that they're putting in their vehicles.
Yeah, by putting this in your tank, it's going through your whole system. So everything from your pump, your lines, all of your injectors, and it's cleaning the backsides of the valves, the carbon deposits in the combustion chamber. And you think about this composite, or the carbon deposits, they're kind of like a sponge. So you're spraying fuel into the combustion chamber, you're wanting to burn it, but it's getting soaked in. It doesn't actually get burnt, and then it gets released on the exhaust stroke. So you're actually just pumping raw fuel out the exhaust, so your emissions can go bad, your fuel economy will go down, and obviously your performance. So you want to make sure your entire fuel system stays nice and clean, tip-top, your injectors are spraying that right target.
That's right. And we've had really great results and lab tested this product. We tested a fleet of vehicles, and we've gotten up to 97% total power recovery. We've gotten 99% injector flow recovery, and we've gotten 100% misfire recovery for fuel-related misfire. And we've found a 5.7% miles per gallon increase just after one tank of this product.
Yeah, now there's a big difference between these PFI systems and DI systems. Now we'll walk you through real quick. This is a PFI cylinder head. We can see real quickly on the bottom, a combustion chamber. We've got two intake valves, two exhaust valves. Now if we look at it from this side view, we've got an injector sitting right here spraying fuel. Well, normally you've got an intake valve sitting right in here, and you can see the targeting of that. It's actually spraying the backside of the valve. That valve is hot, it helps atomize the fuel. Well, you get carbon deposits on here on a DI engine that you don't see in PFI because you don't have a spray on that valve. You're not hosing it down and washing it down. So even though you've got a great cleaner in your fuel system, it's not necessarily getting to the backside of the valve on these GDI engines. And I'll show you the inside of one here. You've got an intake port, and your injector is actually spraying into this chamber itself. So you're bypassing that whole intake port, and we can look at this engine, which is pretty new, and you can already start to see some of the composite or the deposit buildup on the backside of that valve. So what you're going to do is add an additional product that you guys have, which would be a really good way to keep all those intake valves clean, which again is your fuel economy, especially your performance if you're blocking that airflow and your emissions.
Right, we have spoken to a lot of technicians who have said that this is a real problem with the gasoline direct injected engines. So we've developed a GDI IVD intake valve cleaner to take care of that problem. Because like Kevin said, the fuel never hits the back of that intake valve on a GDI engine. So with this product, all you do is spray it into the throttle body, into the air intake system, and it really soaks all the cylinders and soaks on the back of that intake valve and really works on those carbon deposits.
Yeah, and a good tip is get the engine running, get it nice and hot. The valves are nice and steamy, so when you do run the engine and you pull this cleaner in, it soaks into those deposits, and it breaks them down nice and slowly, lets them burn away through the exhaust system. It's good for turbos and everything else downstream. But again, it's that additional technology that needs a little bit more maintenance in the field. All right, we're on the intake side. We've got our throttle body here. And as we mentioned, we want to take the product here with a nice, flexible but sturdy nozzle, and we want to spray through the throttle body. It'll go through the intake system, and it's going to soak the back of those valves. Now, if you pull off typically your MAF sensor, which is located upstream, right, the engine might not run so smooth. You might get some trouble codes. So maybe a couple of tricks. You might be able to disconnect your hose from your MAF sensor and actually get the nozzle up into there, clamp it back down reasonably well. You're just doing, idle to 2,000 RPM. You're going to do some bursts, about 30 seconds while you're running the engine. Let it soak those valves, and when your can is empty, you can shut the engine down, let it heat soak, let those start to break down. Next thing you know, you're off and running.
While you have your air intake system apart, you might as well clean all the components that you can. CRC has a mass airflow sensor cleaner, which works excellent to remove any debris that might have been burned onto the hot wires, and it's plastic safe. So you can see here how this plastic housing is encasing the mass airflow sensor. A lot of times people might use a more aggressive cleaner like a carburetor cleaner or a brake parts cleaner to do the job, but that can really attack the plastic and over time cause some major expensive problems.
Now if you think about it, you have all the airflow through your engine all the time blowing past this mass airflow sensor. So you're collecting small dust particles where, like you said, oils and things that are up into the intake system are getting burned and baked on. So you want to make sure you clean them. That's going to make sure that your computer knows exactly how much air is coming in. It can put the right amount of fuel in, so all the mixture's right, emissions, fuel economy, the whole thing is just tip top. So make sure you don't put contact with your fingers, like you said, harsh chemicals. Use like the CRC, mass airflow cleaner, and while you're at it, make sure you hit the throttle body. That's easy. You can spray a little bit of cleaner on that, make sure there's no dirt, debris, and oils that have built on it as well. You put the system back together, and you're good to go.